All right. All right, we are starting this. I'm going to go ahead and say that we're starting this meeting at 6:37 this evening. Um, we did not get meetings from previous, no, sorry, minutes from previous meetings out to everyone. We'll go through that on the final meeting where we're going through all the grants, and I think we'll just do one big hurrah of the meeting minutes. We'll also talk about the budget um, for that. So we'll save that for the last one. Um, this is also going to be a meeting where I figure maybe we just go ahead and talk about the things that we needed to vote on first, and then spend the rest of the meeting talking about the projects, anything that came up to everybody. So the two things that I know we wanted to talk about were, first, I'll start with our December meeting. I would like to make a motion, and we'll hear a conversation about it here in a bit, but I'd like to make a motion that we uh, skip our December meeting because we're having these back-to-back meetings right now. Um, we'll talk about it in emails, but I would like to do, if we can make it happen, a holiday, kind of like a holiday party, and just kind of hang out with each other over break. But I know I would love to vote on the December meeting being skipped, and then we'll also have a discussion of the January meeting potentially being skipped as well, just to give everybody the winter break. But we'll have those as two separate votes. Uh, does anybody have any thoughts about skipping the December meeting?
I'm fine with that. I would just say if we do have like a holiday thing, significant others, kids,
Yeah,
welcome.
yeah, 100%. Okay, cool. If there's no real discussion though surrounding the December one, I would like to make a motion that we skip the December meeting and leave any communications through email.
Second.
Second. Oh,
All
yeah.
right. All four? Any opposed? Awesome. So we're not going to have a meeting for December of this year. For January of next year, um, the two things I wanted to talk in regards to that. One, we're going to do this communication via email. But what I'm going to have us do is look for 2026. Everybody look at your calendar, and then we're going to choose what our official meeting days are going to be, and we're going to stick with that for the year. So it's going to be, I'm going to ask that everybody looks through their year calendar ahead of time. Um, Obviously, our meetings have been every second Thursday at around this time. If that still works for everybody, that's cool. We'll keep it going for 2026, but I will have discussions about when the days are going to happen over email. But how does everybody feel about skipping the January meeting as well? That might be a lot considering we would need to start the year off strong. However, a lot of the conversations can still happen in subcommittee meetings. And again, through emails and text message change to make sure stuff's getting done behind the scenes. So does anybody have any feedback on the idea of skipping January's as well? Any thoughts? No? Okay. Cool. Well, then I'll go ahead and make a motion that we just give ourselves the full winter break and well, for December and January, and we come back strong in February on the agreed upon date or new day for meetings.
Second.
Okay. All four or any four? Any opposed? Oh, yeah, yeah, I got you. No, I got you, Cassie. All right, cool. Then we will see each other in official meeting in February, whatever days that we agree that those are going to look like. Hopefully, we should have a full council at that point. I know that there's somebody in the pipeline right now that should be getting ready to hop on board. And then I think we've got some people who have expressed that they may want to step off. And so we'll start the whole process over again. All right, cool. The other thing that we needed to talk about was in regards to the admin budget. I'm trying to pull up. the agenda right now. Sorry about this. Because we had 4 agendas all back to back, so I'm looking at them, but there's one that particularly called this out. Cool. All right, so we're talking about possibly moving $206.02 from the admin budget to the grant funding budget so that we can make it an even $253,000.
How much was getting moved again?
Oh,
Sorry,
no, no,
206, what?
$206.02.
2 cents. Okay. From admin
Yeah,
budget
that makes sense.
to.
What's
yeah.
the remaining in admin?
I don't know. It's a great question from the treasurer. Let us see when the last information was sent out. Um, hey Meg, do you have that information on you readily available?
Yeah, I'm trying to look right now.
This is the budget. Would this have been the last budget I was in?
Yes. That would have been the last budget that you gave us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Found it. I have one from October.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, then that one's the most recent one.
Okay. So let me. And Google Sheets. Is that correct, Meg?
I don't know if it should be in Google Sheets. That's odd.
Google Sheets, yeah. Should just be in, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just one sheet where we've got. I'm showing our total for granting is 252, 793.98, and our total for FY26 admin is 11,825. Is that what you're seeing, Meg?
Let's see. Elements. No, I'm not. I don't think I'm looking at the same spreadsheet as you are.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you are looking at the previous budget that you went over though, right, Aaron?
Yeah, I don't know that I am because the one I was looking at had additional tabs in it. Let me see if I can find the other one. Here's that. Let's see if I can filter. Also have one from November. Just attached images. No, nope, that's not it. That's the budget question about the Latino Art Fusion event. So it must have been this one. Except, let me see. No, I'm seeing it. I've got a different one. It's more detailed. It's
Okay.
just not titled this. It's not titled as budget. It's titled as something else. Okay, cool. So we've got cash receipts, cover, applications. Let's see. 23. You're looking at the copy of the Woods Arts Canto 25 as of 2025, Meg?
As of September 2025.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I'm
have the
looking
one
at
from-
too. So we're looking at now we're looking at the same thing. We're
Mhm.
looking at what tab are you looking at?
The cover sheet.
Cover sheet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's generally where they kept everything.
Okay, so this is 2025, so this would be affecting the other budget that we were looking at, which is the 2026 budget. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so okay, so we've got I'm not seeing anything in here for administration. What from administration do you want to pull over?
$206.02.
To make the, to
Grant
make,
funding and even 253K.
thank you. 253K. Yeah, okay, cool. That would be for the budget. So that would bring us down to, hold on, let me just pull up the calculator. Can you repeat that number for me?
Which one?
206.02.
Okay, so that would leave us $11,618.98 in our admin budget. Which we currently haven't identified what we are going to be using it for.
Which is totally fine.
Okay.
We'll have that's future stuff.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you for that clarification. So yeah, I would like to make a motion that we set aside that bit of money from the admin budget so we can have an even amount for the upcoming or for the grant cycle that we're currently going our applications on.
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Is there any opposition? No. All right. Cool. So those are the main things that I wanted to talk about and discuss for voting purposes. The rest of the meeting, we are going to look at grants. So everybody feel free to open up your pages and we can start from the top. If there are any questions and regarding anything, this is where we can say that. If you're really, really excited about something, that's cool too. Let's just try to keep our conversations a little compacted. I think we kind of found a really good flow near the end of the last meeting. So yes, let me pulling up my project applications, batch number 2, and to start us off, we're going to be at building uh, futures. I believe this was one of the ones that they had 2 of them. There we go. And just so we are clear, or for clarity's sake, this is another thing Meg and I talked about earlier today. Um, okay, so the way everything is worded on our side for grants, the things people should have seen when they applied, you can apply for as many project grants as you want, and they could be up to $5,000. But the way our language is worded, we also have a little part in there that says, um, uh, I can't remember the precise language, and Meg, feel free to chime in with the precise language. But basically, what it says is one applicant is able to get one award. So even if it's under the $5,000 mark, when you take both of them in, they still
Yeah.
can only get one award. And I believe that was added because of Doug last year. But I'm going to let Meg say something about that.
Yeah, no, this was already in there,
Oh, it
so
was? Okay.
yeah, so we didn't look at it last year.
Got it.
But yeah, it says applicant may submit multiple applications, including one fellowship application and one or more project grant application. Separate applications must be submitted for each proposed project, and no entity will receive more than one award. And then at the
Interesting.
very top of the grant guidelines, it says, where was it? Says something like up to, oh yeah, awards have historically ranged from several $100s to up to 5,000. So it doesn't say like there's ever been given more than that.
So, with that being said, the way that I'm understanding the language, first and foremost, I think this is something, and just to clarify, Meg, this is our rules, not
Yeah, this
MCT.
is Yeah, this is WAC's grant guidelines.
So I think this is going to be another thing that after this grant review session, we're all going to have to come together, go through what guidelines we're expecting to ask of people applying for stuff in the city. Um, with the way it is written, though, even someone like Doug, whom even though we did award multiple to last year, um, I think to stick with what our guidelines are, um, we need to do one at a, do one award for each person who's applying for multiple things. Um,
So I will just say, like, one award could mean that someone like Doug, we combine his proposals and provide him one award.
so that's something that we can do on our end.
The language doesn't preclude it.
Okay,
I mean, that's kind of what happened last year, I think, but I don't think
gotcha.
we realized that the language said that can award one award.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my understanding of it, and with how it's been expressed to me from previous Worcester Arts Council members, is the heart of it seems to be centered around the idea that one person, one organization can't go past or shouldn't go past $5,000 so
Yeah.
that we have more opportunities to spread that money around to as many people as possible. So if that's the case and we're looking at it from the language of one award is given, then I would agree with what Aaron just said, that someone like Doug, who's applying for multiple projects because it's under the $5,000 mark, we would just give him the one award for those multiple projects if they were to happen to go through and
Yeah.
or scored correctly. That also being said, there are a few people who've applied for multiple projects that are at $5,000. So
We
if
would have to.
yeah, we would have to, in my opinion, we should be scoring those accordingly with that knowledge in hand. So when you're looking at,
I made a conditional filter on column B to identify whether or not there were duplicates in the applicants.
okay,
And if I can show everyone how to do that really quickly if that is something that everyone is interested in.
um, I would say at this point, this might be something that we take offline or we
Yeah,
do when we're not recording
fair,
ourselves.
fair.
Okay, so
Just a quick follow-up on that. So, like, for example, Nick Baker, he put in two
yep.
for 5 grand each. So obviously we can only award one.
Yeah.
Can the council reach out to people to ask follow-up questions on their applications? Like, can we ask Nick, like, if we can only fund one, do you have a preference?
I think that's a really great question. I think we're at the point now, though, where this kind of leans more into what our role is. And so I think what that will look like is if after we score and we break things down, if both were to get funded, we're the one who chooses which one would be funded in that situation.
Okay.
But I'm down to having more conversation surrounding that. Victor, you had your hand raised?
Yeah, no, I think Cassie had a good question, and I'm wondering because they'll get an acceptance from one and a rejection from the other, and then they
Yeah.
get the time to rebuttal. So we'll probably be able to ask questions then. I'm
Mm.
making the assumption of, and then maybe do some like I don't know what the rule is if they were like, what if they asked a question? You know what I
That's
mean?
fair.
If
I
they
think
But
wanted
I
to
don't know if they'd
flip
be able to
it,
resubmit at that point.
no, I wouldn't ask them to resubmit. If they wanted to ask the question and then flip it, what we could do at that point is in those meetings or in that meeting that we have to follow that up, to follow up the challenges with, is if both of them were to have been given a passing score or would have been accepted, we can tell them, sure, go ahead and pick whatever one you want. But if the one that didn't get accepted wouldn't have been part of the equation anyway, then we would just have to say no, the other one was rejected. Um, but I think for right now, moving forward, for someone like Nicholas Baker, if both of them were accepted, what we would tell uh, what we tell Nicholas at that point is this is the one that we would like to see happen. And then if they have an issue with it, they can bring that up during the rebuttal period.
Okay.
I think that's very fair. Um, okay.
This building futures one, if we're ready to move on, they
Mhm.
had two different amounts that they wanted.
Okay.
They said on the budget it has 4250, but then in like one of the questions, would you be able to raise additional funds? It says if WAC is unable to fund the entire $3,500 request. I don't know if that's maybe just a typo. They didn't like
Interesting.
do their numbers correctly, but that,
I noted the same thing and I was like, is this a copy paste job from last year? Did y'all just submit the same
right?
application? Yeah.
That's what I thought. Maybe it was just like a typo or something like that.
Quite possibly. That's
Okay.
a good catch, though.
All right. But
Um,
other than that, I had nothing else to say about
Yeah.
this one.
yeah. I mean, and I think that's one of those examples of when you're scoring the budget section
Mm,
on their score, take a point down
Yeah.
for that because that is a confusing part of their budget. Like
yeah.
I think that, and again, as we make these things more clear, as we can express our expectations going like for future years, these are things that we're going to have to let people know. Like we to better prepare our artists and our organizations as small, especially the smaller ones, to apply for other grant funding,
Mm.
we can serve as a really good springboard for them to learn this process so that they can do better applying for other grants outside of
Mm,
the Worcester Circle.
Mm.
Um, just my initial thought to
mm.
that. But if nobody else has any other thoughts,
Victor.
oh, sorry, did I miss?
Oh,
I
you're
moved.
good. I was just gonna say it's interesting when I started reading this one. We had a conversation similar about this type of topic, and it might have been this project, it might have been another one, but the location and the like events. So I didn't note it, but there's several places in the applications. Well, there are several applications that have the same location with the same programmatic expertise
Mm.
asking for money. So I'm just gonna start now. Like I was very critical of that while I was reading, where I saw overlay of entities, location,
Mm.
and request for funds.
Okay. No, I think that's something good to look at as well.
I think that's fair. I think that's something that we're going to need to balance for like music type places. They're going to
Mm.
need a place that can handle orchestral instruments. That's going to limit what their venues can be. So like I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the reoccurring same places just because
Yeah, there's
yeah.
like a lot of there's a lot of fashion stuff, a lot of sewing things, and
Yep.
like obviously there's only so many places that provide that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. But I think that that's fair when it's the exact same location, but I think it's a combination of the same location with the same people that are experts.
mm,
Yeah.
I think that's the combination that we need to keep an eye
mm,
out for.
And I don't know, just again, this is just me kind of like letting my brain go on this subject, but I don't know if that's something that we should necessarily dissect through this process or if this is something that we need to talk about more, or if there's another organization within the community that can better offer more expertise or suggest more experts to people so that we can link in the future when people are applying for things, we can have workshops or
Mhm.
community meetings where we're like, hey, are you looking for someone who knows how to sew? Your friend might be really good at sewing, but they're also going to be doing or applying for grants for five other groups. There are also these five other local people who are
Yeah.
all really great experts at sewing. And so maybe it's like maybe it's just something to look at for future networking events so that people can see that there are other experts in these fields
Yeah, some
moving
like
forward.
some like post grant cycle data analytics. Yeah.
Yeah, and collecting that information so we can start sharing that with the community. Um, But that's a great point.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Moving on to the next one, we've got Li Jiang. Um, Anybody have any notes or anything pop out at them for that one?
Really, really good letters of recommendation, though I was unclear about how many walks and talks would be included in this over that 60-day period. Is it just going to be one that they're doing as part of like the opening, or is it going to be like a reoccurring thing?
So I guess
I have the same note saying like what where did I just go? When are the workshops and how are these to be held?
yeah,
I was it's a great idea. I just flesh it out a little bit more. I feel like a lot of the ones that I read this time were things weren't completely fleshed out all the way because they're waiting on the funding, which like I can kind of understand, but I don't feel comfortable giving you the funding if you don't even have like logistics at least kind of sorted out.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know?
No, and I think that comes with this territory where where we do have that question of if you can't get full funding, how would you do it? Like the answer is generally stuff like, well, we'll reduce it, we'll shorten it. And so like what they said is we'll shorten the exhibit from 60 to 30 days and reduce workshops, which is precisely what we would expect from that answer. However, how many workshops are we starting off with
Yeah.
before you figure out the reduction part?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Meg, are we still in a period where we can send people, and this might be something that if we need to go through and do this sooner rather than later, but are we still in a period where we can send people questions or ask them clarifying questions before we give them scores, or is that part kind of over?
Um, I don't see why not. I
Yeah, I
guess.
would love to be able to ask people some questions.
Yeah, particularly in this batch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can double check. Just because I know once we open that door,
Yeah,
they might have a lot of questions back.
very
In
fair.
which case that might be kind of unmanageable. But yeah, I can if you want to send me or like make a list of the questions or in the minutes or whatever, um, I can go through that and try to contact the applicants with questions.
Okay.
Okay. Um, all right. So what I'll say then is, um, let's have an email chain and everyone can just ask which project or which projects they have questions in regards to. And we'll keep it all in one email so Meg can reference just that one email chain. And we can all kind of pay attention with the answers as things are going on there, and that will help us as we figure out our scoring before the final meeting to go over scores.
Okay.
Um, all right. The next one is the Worcester Writers Collective.
Mm,
Any major questions regarding this?
Are they a first-time applicant for this?
I
Like,
think so.
did they apply for this last year? I know that it's like a
I,
reoccurring program.
I think they were getting funding through JMAC.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was the vibe I got before. And like this has been going on for a while. This is a like the growth of this program is awesome.
Mhm.
Um I just don't like how they didn't break down their budget whatsoever. It was just like we need 5 grand.
Well, it sounds like they're just paying rent.
Which
And
at
then
the
at
same
one point
time,
they talk about like salaries for people. So it was really funky. Yeah.
yeah, because
Um,
like it sounded like this is all like volunteer and everything. Like I know it takes work to put together the showcase and everything, but like I know that they can get access grants through the JMAC.
yeah.
It's
Well,
100% possible.
they can definitely apply for them.
They
Yeah.
can. Um, I don't know. I didn't like how there was no breakdown of the budget. It was just like, I need 5K.
No, I think that's very fair. Again, and that's why we have
Yeah.
these meetings.
Yep.
That I'll share. I like the idea. I think
Yep.
it's more of a club than anything. So y'all should have dues for people coming all the time. Maybe that's a suggestion. And the rent's too damn high. It's 5,000. Um,
Yeah.
The
but
JMAC
the
is like
yeah.
so prohibitively expensive. If you don't
But
get a grant, it is so hard to do work over at the JMAC. Um, I know I've never been to the Worcester Writers Collective. I just know a bunch of people that are a part of it and like what they've done with this. Like it's a pretty great thing for the city to have. And we haven't had a lot of like kind of literature stuff like this. So I
Yeah.
felt
It's
really good about it.
I
wild
But
to
the
like
have
that.
budget
a
was just
poet and laureate or like a poet in residence. Why don't we have more writing stuff? That seems,
yeah.
That's why I
yeah,
like this one. I
Yeah.
also like
yeah.
that it was 18 plus, right? Like, so it doesn't have to, yeah. So
Yeah.
No, 100%. And yeah, I would like to see more events that, cater to adults and not just like seniors, children and families, and then everybody else in the middle just kind of gets forgotten.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this,
well, Worcester shuts down at 6, so
uh,
Oh, we're not opening that can of worms.
all
Okay,
right, I know. I'm gonna
last
keep
thing I'm
moving
gonna
forward.
last thing I'm gonna say about this. I did really appreciate that they calculated the hourly cost of volunteers as an in-kind support. Like that was just a nice touch.
Yeah.
Right, like the
No, I agree.
application was great. That budget though, uh, I don't
Very
want to just
fair.
hand
They're
you 5K.
writers, not
I know.
accountants.
I know.
Very, very fair. And a really quick side note, just so everybody is aware, I have been talking to different artists in the community, and it does look like JMac will be increasing their prices for the next season moving forward. Um, I'm sure we'll all be seeing more of that or that information. This is also another reason why the program that I created the agreement with the Worcester Art Museum is going to be that much more important.
Mm,
And hopefully we can create more of these programs with other institutional locations within the city so that it reminds venues that A, they're not the only game in town, and that there are other amazing venues that offer competitive price points at bare minimum for those that are WAC funded. And so that would two options that can happen when they see that is they can ignore it and then WAC fund they will lose out on WAC funding. They'll lose out on WAC funding. Um, Applicants and people who are going to be getting the money that we have, which I don't know how many WAC applicants they've gotten over the years, but I would say that that is a significant portion of the amount of money that that group or that building does get.
yeah, JMac
Um,
also, you not only are you renting the space, if you're doing performance, you have to use their union
mhm.
operators, which I
yeah,
mean, give union people their work and everything. It's a union house, but like
respect.
I've gotten grants at the JMac before. It's real hard.
Yeah, and
It's
again,
hard to work there. It's hard to work there. It's minimal money. Most of the money you're getting is going straight to the union people.
yeah,
You don't get a lot of
Mm,
operational yourself
mm,
besides like the rent.
yeah.
mhm.
It's very expensive and a little difficult to work there.
And again, respect the unions, but what I'm hoping these projects are going to do is it even forces unions to be at the table going like, okay, how much are we asking for? How much is the House asking for?
Mm,
How can we put pressure on the House to make this a better or more approachable for artists so that we can continue getting work? Like this is all feeding into each other in this conversation. So I wanted to make sure that we all knew that that was coming up though down the pipeline as we are talking about our grants. And it also could be that we sit down and we have a conversation of do we want $5,000 to be the limit for future grant proposals? Because if prices keep going up, if things become more expensive, are we limiting the types of projects and the people that are coming to us asking for money? I don't know, but it could mean that um, it opens up possibilities for other people who may think that they don't have opportunities to see their dreams come to its fullest
Yeah,
point. So yeah.
yeah.
Um, all right.
Worcester native plants.
So
Yep.
we would have to choose between these two.
In this situation, for what we've talked about, we would have to choose between Silent Sparks or the indigenous plant thing, and it really sucks because
Great vision part.
I really personally love both of those.
Yeah, they're
Well,
I
in
didn't
in the
really.
future, I just want to clarify in the future because again, I believe both of those would be under 5,000, and what we talked
Mhm.
about earlier, we can just give them a lump
Right.
award.
Yeah.
But
I
in the future, sorry, what were you saying, Cassie?
This native plant one, the fireflies, love this.
Yeah.
How is it art?
So I would say this is 100% part of the interpretive sciences aspect of all of this that we're doing. Um, and I think that is part of a larger discussion, but to see what um, the internet would say. Interpretive science involves educational activities that engage individuals of all ages in learning about nature, science, and technology, emphasizing the connections to everyday life. It focuses on understanding subjective meanings and experiences within social contexts, often using qualitative research methods.
You
So,
just had that queued up. You were ready? Like you knew this was coming?
no, I just asked. I just asked. Um, Anyway, so I would say this does fall in line within interpretive sciences, and interpretive sciences are things that we can, in fact, fund with our grant funding. Um, I personally adore this. The Southern kid in me, and I know you said you thought it was really cute as well. And I know you're not questioning the actual thing itself, but I think
No.
it's fair that we do question that.
Hmm.
But I do believe it does fall in line with what we can fund. And as a kid who grew up in the South and loved going and catching fireflies, I think we need to see more of those in the world.
Did you call them fireflies?
I did call them fireflies, and
Okay,
I still call them fireflies or lightning bugs.
there we go.
Thought you all talking about a
Um,
song the whole time. Uh, the one thing I'll
Childish
share is,
Gambino.
yeah, right. I always, and this is like when things are placed on a university, I know that it's going to be promoted limited, like in a
Mm,
very limited fashion. And then I think
Mhm.
the historical significance to the outside community to the campus.
mm.
Right. So how many
Ooh.
does this now fall into a college activity in a university element, whereas some club is putting it together? So that's
Yeah.
one of the things I think about with funding something like that. And then I also think about are people on Clark's campus, what's their residence?
Mm.
Right. So I'm
I
asking these deeper questions. Like if someone who's coming here to study, oh, what's the resident or are they a temporary resident?
I think that's
Uh,
a yeah, sorry.
that's it.
Yeah, no, I think those are great questions. I think that historically these are things that we have funded, we have put into. I think going forward we can open that up to discussion. I think for us, um, I think it serves as a reminder for what we do and how we are interacting with the community as a whole. I think it does put more of an onus on how we are getting information out to the community and making sure that these we're going to tell like it, let's just say for example this is funded, we're going to tell the community this is funded for you, go to this event. If we were to find out that this event was for 100 people and they're turning community members away, that's something that then we're going to have to sit with whomever applied for that grant and
Mhm.
say you violated the agreements for what you set forth in your proposed in your application. So now you're going to have to either A, return the money for that project because you broke the agreement, or we'll have to introduce you to legal and then have a larger discussion through that.
Yeah.
Um, like when I came on to the Arts Council, I know we had a project that we had to send through that process because they decided to switch their event location last minute and it sent them over to Boston. And I raised a fuss about that prior to being on the council, and that's why I got onto the council was because of that situation and how I was very adamant that Worcester money needs to stay in Worcester. And I think echoing what you just said, Victor, not only does Worcester money need to stay in Worcester, but these Worcester projects need to make sure that they center the Worcester community, not just a subset. And how I know that sometimes some of these projects might seem a little bit more limited than others. They're still open to the larger community, but if it's a college program that centers the college, students, I think that you're asking a great question. How many of those students are actually from Worcester? And so are
Right.
serving Worcester residents at that point?
I think, I mean, based off of who they're promoting to and who their like target is, like they're planning on sending it to their mailing list, their Facebook group, the Worcester Garden Club, the Greater Worcester Land Trust, and Blackstone Valley Visitor Center, and other like native plant groups.
Yeah.
They are not intending for this to be college students exclusively.
Yeah.
So I think that we can read a little bit between the lines with this application, but I think that like if we want to get more clarity on how like where at Clark this is being hosted, what the capacity of that venue is, that's a great question that we can ask as a follow-up, just to ensure that like community members do have access to this event.
Yeah. Because we don't want it to be in like a student center where you have to have a card to get in.
Right. Okay.
Awesome.
Manuel Carbu.
Yes, Emil Carbu, the Fashion Fusion.
There's a
Yes.
note that some of this happens at like the Copley Mall. So that's my only reservation on that. Copley. I don't know how to say these Boston words. I don't know.
I also, question who are the other experts and the artists?
Yeah.
And it's raising revenue, but that's not
Yeah.
captured anywhere.
Yeah.
Also, and I think this is one of those things that we're going to have to be more cognizant of, and I don't know how we put these into notes just so everyone's aware. But if you pay attention to the on the primary contact, the wavvznewage.com, that is that's the site for the organization that they represent. If you pay attention or if you look at the very last one, I believe it's the very last one in this batch. Um, the third to the last one, there's the WAVVZ. So
Mm.
that's one of those situations where like, even though the names are different for who put in the application, that's
Same
going to the exact
organization.
same group.
Mm. Good catch.
I don't
And I
know.
like that submission better than this submission.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. And
Yeah, okay.
I'm pure agreement on that one too. So just something that I think we need to
Wanna
be
think about.
aware of, and
Yeah.
I don't know how to I don't want to use the word. I don't know how to
If we can clarify the language to say that one award per organization.
the only
Individual or organization.
organization. Yeah, the only hiccup to that, and we need to remember is that like if so like there are organizations that work within.
Co-ops and stuff.
There are
Yeah.
co-ops, there are organizations within underneath umbrellas, they have fiscal sponsorships, and we can't limit, so let's
Then
say
maybe that's a question for legal to write
yeah,
this in legalese for us for next time.
exactly, 100%. So I think what it is, we need to figure out precisely what it is we want to have happen, and then we have legal come in and then make it into a
Tell us
legally
exactly how we need to say it
how to
so
word
we're
it, so that
covered.
exactly, so that
Yeah.
we're covered on our end.
Yeah.
Um, and
All right.
then also I would want to make sure that the language we use, not just a legalese language, but also a layman's terms so that
Yeah,
everyone will be
obviously.
able
Yeah,
to get it.
yeah.
Because I don't want us to have a bunch of language that hinders people or makes people afraid to apply.
Yeah.
Because I know I've looked at plenty of things in the past, and because of the confusion, I just decided to not apply for something. Okay. Were there any other thoughts though in regards to this one? Okay. The next one is WCUW, Walter Crockett still standing.
I had a question about this one.
Go for it.
So their full project, including ticket prices, is $3,034. but they're only asking us for everything except for ticket prices. Um,
And if they're making, they project to make $1,600. So why are they asking for money from us?
I was going to say I would rather give them the price for ticket sales and like up like if we are allowed to do that, up what it is that we're getting them so that they are able to, that's a no. I'm seeing that's a no.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
we're
gonna
not going to be
say
able
the
to edit.
budget doesn't match here either.
What do you
The
Yeah.
mean?
budget includes like the full amount.
Yeah.
And then they are just asking.
Oh, so the full budget amount is 3,034. They're anticipating revenues of 1,600.
Yep.
They're asking for the balance for the
Yep.
Yeah,
difference. Oh, okay. That makes a little bit more
yeah.
sense.
And it makes more sense. Other people, other projects that we've looked at and we've funded in the past, basically we've paid even though they were asking they knew they were going to make money or they predicted they were going to make money through ticket sales. This group just decided to say, hey, because we feel like we're going to make money through ticket sales, we're not going to ask for that side of it. We're just asking for the other side. And honestly, that
Makes sense.
makes me
That's,
throw a little respect at them.
That
Like
makes sense.
honestly.
Okay.
I mean, they're a good organization. It's a good project for future years. Like I would say, ask for the full price, still have donations. That way you're able to like build your coffers. Like radio's dying. Let's make sure that you've got like a little bit of,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm thinking like an accountant.
Yeah, no, you're
All
good.
right.
Yeah. And again, and these are things where it's like, when we're looking at these smaller organizations, there's just so many great people and individuals in this community who are wanting to do good things. They just happen to be really bad at business. And so like helping them figure these things out or thinking about things in new ways, I think is going to be really beneficial, but that's
Yeah.
not our role. That's
I think we're also kind of getting weedy this
Yep.
evening
Yeah.
Agreed,
Yeah.
agreed, agreed.
because we're only like 5 projects in so far.
Nope, I agree 100%. So let's move
All right.
on to the next one. And again,
Worcester County
um,
Mechanics,
yep, Mechanic
Charlotte
Association.
Mechanics Hall.
I didn't know this existed. This is very cool.
Yeah. But does anybody have anything that red flags that popped up at them or anything they feel like they need to talk about?
No.
All right, cool. Moving on to the next one, Joel Dunbar, the Print Your Vision it's a free direct to film t-shirt workshop.
I
Um,
want someone to convince me that this falls under our scope and is art and isn't just learning how to use a machine.
It's graphic design though,
Graphic
yeah,
Okay.
design.
you were
Yeah.
literally sorry. We'll talk after.
So
Oh,
the
no.
inner
Oh,
I was gonna
Ooh.
share the young me who had Adobe Photoshop on a CD and can only use it in my high school when
Yeah,
we had to like print onto iron-on paper. Thinks
yeah.
this is a great project because even to see one of those 10,000 plus dollar machines is amazing.
yep.
Okay.
While at the same time, like right, my son is in classes at the Worcester Art Museum, and whenever he wants a shirt based off a new anime, they don't have the shirt size for him because they only fit him at Hot Topic sizes for
Uh,
teenagers and above. So like that kind of sways me to go, oh, this is a great project. But I also think there aren't enough places that have the technology for after school programs to do this.
Mm.
yeah,
And the fact that he's fully, it's the cost is high for programs like this, and he's reducing the cost, which is almost $200 per person, which
yeah,
is yeah. But
100%.
that makes me a little biased though, because of all those elements.
No, and those are all important things for people to be reminded of. I'm a fan of this application for sure. Okay.
Draglesk.
We funded this last year. I'm just going to speak real quick to the success of it, as you guys can see in the application, and I think they did an amazing job on this application.
Mm.
I super well attended. I've seen nothing
Hmm.
but good things. Like it expanded Worcester's name outside of Worcester. I saw various communities talking about it in different cities. I mean, nothing but good things about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're considering moving. I know we just said this, but like moving away from the JMAC because like I was there the night of the show, the actual show, and it's hard to tip performers when you're in like stadium seating.
For sure.
Can't really just toss dollar bills down. So,
Yeah.
but
I like
it
that
was sold
they're
out. Oh, stop it. Sorry,
I
my dog.
appreciate that they're like expanding the accessibility and age inclusion.
Yes.
Like me as a me as a musical theater geek when I was a teenager, the idea of being able to go and learning makeup and costuming techniques from people like this would have been the most amazing thing. I
No,
definitely
opportunity.
am super excited about it.
Cool.
And the fact that like they're very committed to it being a Worcester location.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah.
Also very true. And we need more festivals in this city.
Yeah.
So any other thoughts though in regards to this? Again, to echo Cassie's point about not getting too weedy. Awesome. Next one, we've got the Worcester Historical Museum, Worcester to the Stars, the Dr. Robert Goddard Rocket Centennial. Anybody have any thoughts in regards to this?
Only that I think it is wild that a Zoom technician costs more than a flight.
$750. No way. For a Zoom technician to do what? Press record? No.
To be able to manage everything, like I looked it up, it's accurate, but it's insane.
It's
That's
wild.
ridiculous.
And we're
Yeah.
out here doing Zoom calls for free.
To manage what
Literally,
though? It's not like they have
minimum.
breakout sessions or anything. Like
Mm,
I manage Zoom calls all day long. Like no, I didn't buy that. And also like I get how I know interpretive sciences, but like
It's historical. It fits to the culture. I think that the Rockets are very part of the Worcester culture because of Goddard. Um, so
uh,
I hear you. I hear you, but
not a fan of this one.
yeah,
There's so many other art projects I
yeah.
would much
Just
rather
as like a
find.
side note, especially with the interpretive sciences, a big thing for me is like, are they interpretive for everyone? Like, what does interpretive mean? Are they ADA interpretive? Like, are there ASL interpreters going on, or are
Mm.
they doing anything with Braille? That's something for me that like, especially with the sciences, I feel like that's important.
and I
Yeah.
think interpretive in this situation is less about interpretive of does it cross language or barriers to interpret the sciences, and more how the sciences are being expressed, shown, explained, and taught. And I think this is tied a lot more to there's a larger conversation happening, and I don't want to get too weedy, but a larger conversation happening of where do the arts fit in the larger conversation of education as a whole. And so, where we've seen in the schools in the past that emphasis on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, you see a lot more people talking about STEAM these days because of putting the arts right there, like in the middle of all these things.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important part and part of the discussion of the interpretive sciences. And so putting ourselves square in the midst of those conversations, I think carries a lot more weight for the future, for the future society as a whole. So when kids are looking at all these things, they see art as a viable piece to what the future of this country looks like. Not to get too like esoteric on it, but like I think that's important.
It's impossible for you to get too esoteric.
Okay, moving on to the next one.
Let's see.
Um, all right.
I
Oh
think this
yeah.
is probably the best case for interpretive sciences. It is very much doing like a historical archival capture of an art form in Worcester.
Mm,
Fair.
I
But
really like this one.
Yeah,
this one's
I
archival
just a
stuff
good one
is
in
great.
general.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
All
Cool.
right.
All right, we'll be able to move on to the next one. Which happens to be the Worcester Center for Performing Arts.
This one goes
I
through the calendar year into 2027. That's my only piece with it.
Mm. Wait, so it starts next school year?
No, it would go like midway through the year into like March of
Yeah,
2027.
I mean, in
something
that
like that.
case, they would just be able to use the funds for the ones that are in this calendar year. But I mean, their series could go throughout next year, and those just ones they wouldn't be funded by us.
Hey, those are all great points. Meg, do we or have we ran into a situation like this where like part of it happens within the grant year that we're giving them money and then another part doesn't?
Um, just personal knowledge, I don't think so, but we
Okay.
did just have um somebody call me recently asking about an event that they had scheduled for this year. They had to push it off to 2026. And this person was also on the Worcester Arts Council a while ago, and they said that you can do that. But I need to double check with Fabian because I'm just not sure
Okay.
I
about that.
also, I also, this is another one of those, like, you guys don't have the money to do this yourselves. You got to ask for 5 grand from us. You're a big organization. You're also getting big money from a bunch of other donors or a bunch of other grants and foundations and stuff. I felt like it's a great program and everything. I'd rather see money go to smaller individual things than, oh, Victor with the eyes. Smaller things than a big, huge organization like this. Just my feeling on it.
And this might be just like my separation from this. Um, yeah, no. So this I was wanted to make sure and double check if this was being run by another group that was underneath their umbrella, but no, that's a good point. You
They are part of the Hanover Theater Conservatory,
Conservatory.
essentially.
Mhm.
Like they've got money and they're
Got it.
getting other money. And like this program has also been going on for a long time. This is a very established program. What do they need money from us for? Would it be nice to have our name associated with it? Yeah, but like at that means fireflies don't get $1,000. Like
No, no,
that's how
no.
I started to look at things this time around too.
And that's precisely how we're supposed to be looking at these things. And I just altered my score a bit because of you just pointing that out. So
Welcome to the bitter side, Cassie. Welcome.
I know. Listen, like I love me the Hanover Theater. I take voice lessons over there. Like I've worked at the JMAC. Like I'm good friends with Livy, but like let's be
no,
realistic
it's
about it
important that we
here.
have black hat wears in the conversation, you know?
I continue to think about this, and I don't think we've really articulated the best way to do it. And we could do it in February when we get together or have smaller chats. But
Yeah.
the way we promote at these events is going to be critical both for the large and smaller artists, right? Or
Mhm.
organizations or whatever it might be. And maybe that's what the question was asked earlier about where these admin dollars are going. And maybe that's what we got to start thinking about budgetarily. So like we can say, okay, we have this much money to start promoting at each of these events and actually start showing up as much as we can, because then
Yes.
we could promote. So that's another story and conversation.
No, that is precisely what I was talking about at the beginning parts of this year, and I would love to bring that stuff back up again. When I was at the Out to Lunch Festival, I know there were different days that people would be able to pop through at different times, and I know people could and couldn't at different times. And I understand we also have our own daily schedules and our daily lives, but I showed up to every one of those days so that we can talk about everything that we're doing here. We just need manpower. Like we need people who are willing to show up, and that's going to be why developing and growing our subcommittees is going to be that much more important, so that we have other people outside of ourselves to lean on who can represent us at these spaces. Um, but yes, definitely something we're going to talk about in the future. If nobody else has any other thoughts, though, we should definitely move on to the next one.
Edward Street. Yeah.
Paper or plastic, from recyclables to remarkable. I know there's at least one person in here that's super big on sustainability and wanting to, you know, do see more stuff like this. I'm assuming, Victor, you probably liked this one.
No, I gave over. I don't care about sustainability anymore. I got a 50-year mortgage.
Right.
Um, no, my only question was, is this a curriculum element? Again, like in it,
Fair.
it talks about
Is this
the classroom
in school
and
or after
yeah.
school? Yeah, that's what I had asked
I'm
too.
also almost certain that we gave a grant to them last year, and this is the exhibit that happens in like the hallway of the Portland Street building.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I don't know. This exhibit's been going on for a while. It's super great. There's a lot of visitors, but yeah, a factor.
No, and that's a really great point. And if that hallway is also blocked off from the public, that is going to be something that
Mhm.
is pretty much only seen by people who go into the printers building, barring the opening night or something like that. So that's something that we should also take into account as you're looking at the score for this project.
Yeah.
Um, Anybody else have any other thoughts they want to share about that?
Mm-mm.
All right. Moving on to the next one, Mr. Nathaniel Nelson, The Adventures of Big Nate All-Star.
Is this a book or a
I don't,
project?
I don't understand what this is.
I
I
don't.
the way I read it, and again, I'm confused. They're using the lessons learned in the book to go talk to young folks at the Boys and Girls Club, and that's the journey I took, but I didn't really know what it was.
But
That
then why didn't they say like this is when we're having events? This is what our event
Yeah,
is
that's
going to be.
that's
Like I
not
don't feel
there.
like I saw a description of what the event is, just
Yeah,
that this is a book.
and we have a couple of actual book applications in this.
Yep,
And I feel like there was another application for something related to this as well.
there was.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I liked that project better than this. I didn't understand what this was for.
this one was
Yeah.
confusing to me as well. Just again, make sure your scores reflect that confusion. Because basically what's going to end up happening once we let everyone know what projects we like and which ones are going through and which ones are being rejected. The beginning of my year next year is going to be me getting a bunch of emails from people either happy or angry about what our decisions were, and I'm going to be doing a lot of meetings with people. That's what I did at the start of this year, so I'll do it at the start of next year. And that's when I can sit down with people and be like, well, this is what my council saw. This is how they scored and why they scored it this way.
This is how you can improve.
And this is how you can improve moving
Yeah.
forward. Because, I definitely had some meetings at the beginning of this year where people explained it or said, like, gave me a different perspective of the project and they didn't get funding for this year. And so I was able to say, oh, had we known that, had we had that little bit of extra information, the scores might have came out differently.
Mm.
And so that helps. Again, we're helping our community get better at applying for these grants, not just
Yep.
with us, but with other groups. Hey, Angelique, welcome to the meeting. We are going through projects currently. And then at the end of the meeting, when we're no longer recording, I can let you know how we voted for the other stuff, just to keep you updated. Um,
Right.
but moving on to the next one.
Worcester Children's Chorus, One Voice Youth Choral Festival at All Saints Church.
Yeah, anybody have any notes
No,
on this
no,
one?
you skipped one.
Oh, sorry. Fanny Laura
Oh, that's DQ'd.
yeah, that is DQ'd.
Wait, it's DQ'd. Why is it DQ'd? I thought it was
Not in the
here.
county. Yeah.
Holliston, right?
Yeah, it's in Holliston. The resident was the
Resident
Holliston.
is from Holliston.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
one of those.
I liked the sound of this one too, but
That's one of
unfortunately,
those situations where again we have had those conversations. The applicant has to be from
Yeah.
Worcester County.
yeah.
All
All right,
right. So
so
One Voice Youth Choral Festival. Any notes on that one? I've got no notes on my end.
Just that it was a reoccurring program.
Yep.
And that the participants seemed like they'll be students from outside of Worcester.
really, I thought it was from Worcester Public Schools.
I didn't see that. It just said students from around or like gathering students from, I believe, around the state or from Massachusetts. I don't think it's specified Worcester specifically. I could be wrong. It's happened.
Respected Massachusetts choral provides youth quality instructor. Oh, from and Ensuring that all Worcester youth, especially those from underserved communities, can experience joy in educational
Mhm.
uh, targeting, free singing event, targeting school choir singers. Yeah, it doesn't say specifically Worcester, I don't think.
This might be one that we ask a follow-up question.
Possibly. I also think that this one is pretty clear that it does center Worcester youth and it's
Yeah.
located at a Worcester location. The person who applied for it is not from or is in the Worcester area. So like we can ask for clarity if that will impact your score. We'll put that on the in the email chain. But I think it has clarity on
The
that.
way I read this is the same way people are inviting other guests to perform.
Mhm. That's what that's kind of how I took it too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, next, Samuel Menza, note
He
from the other day.
attached the book.
If you got the chance to read it, like read all of it. I'm hoping that people at least read most of it. I thought it was really good. So
I was as I was reading the application, I was going, oh, I'm not going to pay for a writer to like spend all this time writing a book. No, he finished the book and attached it in his
So
proposal.
then
So
what is
what's
he
the
looking
project?
for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
sitting down with an editor, and then going through the process of developing the book, and then there's also the setting up of book readings around the community. That'll be the project.
My only hesitation is that there's no resume of past projects or information about followership of any kind. So there's no true idea of what the public benefit would be. But it's definitely an artistic book and it's a really interesting perspective.
Okay. Something to think about.
Dude, now that
Yeah.
I know I got a drafted book, once I'm off the council, I'm submitting for 5K to get my joint.
I mean, look, if you provide that stuff and we get into it, I mean, it is in
Yeah.
the realm of what we cover. And like this is one of those things that I think it was a conversation I had with Jenny because I remember previous years my main focus was on events and how we looked at events happening in the city. Jenny made a really great point about how, you know, it's not just events, it's also people wanting to do these artistic projects and like the impact that that will have on the community as a whole. You know, so if somebody wants to make these movies or the like an art piece that we may not see a bunch of people, you know, see like experiencing it in the form of an event, even though, by the way, I anytime people ask me questions, I always try to encourage finding some community experience with whatever it is they're doing. And tying that alongside their project because that is an important aspect as well. Um, we're
Okay.
not solely limited to events.
Okay.
So just something that for us to take into when we're scoring.
Okay.
I'm here for more Worcester books. I think I said that on our last call.
Yes.
I also don't want people to get too famous and forget about Worcester. I'm not pointing out any Dennis Leary's or John Benjamins, but I need y'all to talk about Worcester more after.
Agreed. 100%.
So the next one is the Bowie School. That's DQ'd because it's chick pay.
Yep.
So
And
after
then,
that is Crocodile River Music, the African music series.
yep.
Yep. Recurring program, successful track record. Those are my notes.
These guys throw down a lot of stuff for the community. So
Mhm.
Again, not trying to gripe, but they get paid by a lot of people from these grants too. So like one of the things I think about.
they do. I will also say, and this is something that you can't really see in these grants, but this is something as I've had conversations with Zach, and the team at Crocodile River Music, also give a lot of free labor to the
Mhm.
community as a whole. So they do get that money, but I've also seen their numbers a bit,
Mm,
and they throw out a lot of stuff for free for
yeah.
the whole.
Yeah, their name is on a bunch of other people's projects, so
Yeah.
they seem pretty cool. All right, next is All Star Finest.
Is
This is
this
another
the one?
this is the one that's related to the Nathaniel Nelson one, right? This is another one that I was
Yes.
like, I don't understand.
Yeah. And there are no letter of credits, letters of commitment for anyone else that's involved in it.
Hmm.
I don't
And
understand. Yeah, I was like, there's no way those audience numbers are realistic. What exactly are we funding? Yeah.
I mean, agreed. Does anybody have any other thoughts though in regards to that? Because like
Wish
I
I
would just
had
be echoing
clarity.
what was said. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Moving on to the next one, we've got Kristen Wagner, Milk.
I'm
Which was this
obsessed.
project?
This is the one where it's about breastfeeding and eating disorders, and it's going to be an event on Mother's Day.
Yes.
Whew.
Yes.
It,
This and the doula podcast I'm a fan of because I see all of the energy in the city of Worcester toward helping support moms, right? Like
Yeah.
it's just something
yeah.
that you see collectively happening,
Mm,
and this is the moment.
I
yeah.
100% agree. We're not at the Duela podcast yet, but I'm a super fan of that one as well. We'll talk about that
Mhm.
one later,
Mhm.
though.
Um,
I did have a question about the budget for this one. What was it? Oh, um, they said so in their project budget, they have 2 week rental of JMac is 7 grand, but then later on they say that the JMac is providing all rehearsal and studio space and pop-up exhibit space in kind.
Mm,
And it's a $7,775. But in
yeah.
the budget it says 7 grand. So is it in kind or are you paying for it?
That's interesting.
Huh.
hmm. This was, there were a number of them where I feel like there was confusion about what in kind and what was the other question?
Yeah, so we'll
And
have to.
projected income. There were a couple of, and primarily like first time grant writers who they didn't seem to understand what these questions meant. I miss, I mean, I,
Yeah, we just need to clean up, I think, some of the language for next year.
yeah,
Yep. And yeah, let's like obviously we're keeping a running tab of this, and so as we're seeing, this is information that's going to be important for people.
yeah,
You have a better idea for future applications. So
yeah.
All right. Um,
The only other note that I had about this, and Meg, this is a little bit more for you. They had embedded links for all of their supporting documentation, which is fine because we can see where they're all going and they're going to a Google Drive. But at the same time, that's definitely like a security risk to like go outside of the application and into some other type of link that could impact thing. Is there a way to prevent embedded hyperlinks in these in the future?
That's a great question. I can make a note of it and find out.
okay.
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that up. That's
Yeah.
I did not even think about that. That's
Yeah, I don't want someone to like try and like spam the Worcester Arts Council.
no, that's totally fair. But if there's no other thoughts on Milk and this project, we'll move on to Zachary Benton for the
Mhm.
Motown hits and history, which I had no real notes on. Pretty
Eh,
standard plate stuff.
Cool.
yeah, it's fine.
Cool. The next one, the Boston Comic Arts Foundation Limited, Salem resident, so that's been DQ'd. The one after that is the Nishcom Media Inc., the Worcester Youth
Mm,
Filmmaking Workshop.
mm,
Does anybody have any questions or any particular things hop out at them for that one?
I was able to verify the specific Emmy that he had.
Okay.
It is the Philip something 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 engineering Emmy that he got while he was with Avid, which I verified on his LinkedIn. Um, it just says it's a primetime Emmy and there are separate primetime Emmys and engineering Emmys. So I wanted to like verify that like there was merit to what was being said and I was able to successfully validate it.
Wow. Um, Thank you.
Yeah.
I was gonna share. I'm surprised that given the world we're in, there's not that many technology submissions so far. I feel like there aren't a lot.
Hmm. I feel
Things
like
that I'm wanting to work on, actually.
I feel like there's less literature than there is technology though, because like I
No,
feel like we've run across a few, like
no,
the
nobody
t-shirt
reads,
one.
Cassie. Nobody reads.
More podcasts. I'm waiting for my first TikTok grant application. Let's go.
Moving on.
All right.
It's
Um,
coming.
Studio Theater Worcester.
all right.
Ah,
They got a big old budget.
as like the theater kid, like
It
what's the
doesn't
show?
mention,
What's
yeah,
the show?
yeah.
What kind of community? And I'm sorry, $35 for a community theater show? What? No,
Yeah.
That, that's
no.
ridiculous. Unless it's a fundraiser for something, and yeah, no. Then
I paid $35 to see one of these shows because a friend of mine was in it and like I had to go, but I was like, 35 fucking dollars for
I,
community theater?
I think that's fair. This on a sliding scale though, or
No,
No.
They do offer for like WIC SNAP recipients discounted tickets, $5 tickets. Yeah.
yes,
It is, but still like it's I think $35 is prohibitive for a community theater show. And I wasn't sure if the director is getting paid or if it's in kind.
fair.
That was another question I
it seemed
had.
like that was being paid,
Mhm.
and that if we didn't fund them, they would move to more in kind.
Yeah. And again, I think these are great points to make. Again, keep that in your mind when you're looking at scoring for this. I will say I appreciate when they offer the sliding, and I know you guys do too, but I do appreciate when they offer the sliding scales or when they
Yeah,
offer the different price tickets for people who are on WAC or need those who get those benefits so that
yeah.
they can enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
But I also definitely agree with you guys that 35 is a pretty heavy burden to put on the community at all for that. So
My biggest deterrent was that there was no resume provided for the director, who's the applicant, and there's no letter of commitment from the dramaturge.
again, I think that's tied to messaging and something that we're going to need to address for the next grant cycle because I we don't like even though we do touch different parts of the arts community and the creative community in the city, we don't know everybody.
Mm.
And as Worcester keeps growing and keeps getting new people in the city, it's going to become more and more important that they provide resumes and they provide proof of work so that
Yeah,
we can see what
Yeah.
we are evaluating.
I can
agreed.
speak to the director, like I know he does very good work. Like I just from how I touch the community, but like
Yeah.
mm,
Also, Victor, I also saw The Childish for about $40, you know. So, I agree. And maybe we are getting older. Um, all
Massachusetts
right.
Symphony Orchestra on July 4th of July next year. I love this. I want this. This is something
75
the city should be
years.
funding though.
I mean, it's a good point. It's completely free, completely out into the open, though, and they're going to provide fireworks.
Oh yeah, we're going, right? We're all going together.
Oh yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
get your
Yeah.
permit first, and you know how that works.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know how that city be.
Truth. Um, but yeah, this was one of those again, really large budget. You know, we're not necessarily a drop in the bucket, but like this is something that has happened for a while. Realistically, when I see those things, again, there's that last section where we talk about impact and innovation. If it's part of a series of shows that have been going on for a while, that's where we get to put our personal touches, the impact and innovation, how we feel about it, especially in regards to like, oh, this is something that's been going on for a while. It's not unique, so
I mean, I
they
think
don't get
that's
a 4 or
fair.
5.
I
Yeah.
also think that something like this, where it's a free concert in the park, where like we're expecting a lot of people. Like we saw that they included the photos. This is
Sure.
the type of thing that we absolutely want our logo on.
That
And
I
that
was gonna say that too. Like there's that, like I don't want to be funding stuff at the Hanover, but like something like this wouldn't hurt to have our name associated with it.
I'd love to
yeah.
have like six different versions of this. A symphony in the parks, Shakespeare in the park. What else can we get in the park?
Yeah. No, I think that's so very true. All right. So moving, if no other thoughts or conversation regarding that, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We've got
Speaking of technology,
Abstract
Speaking
Beast
of,
Generation 2, uh, Cesar Rodriguez.
I didn't know how I felt about this when I first started reading it, but then I was like, oh, I'm on board.
If you see
yeah,
his other pieces, he's one of my my
Really?
bias. He's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite like visual artists in the city. That every time I see his work, I'm always happy to see it.
I think this is really cool. I love the way that this is laid out. So just speaking from like a researcher grants management background, doing this like a phased out clinical trial where he
Mhm.
developed it for him. Now he's got a small core group with kids and like has a 5-year plan to be able to get this nationwide. This is incredibly well thought out.
Yeah,
Be
I
great to
agree.
be on the ground floor of this for him. So
I was going to say I think this is going to be really cool for the city as a whole.
Y'all sound like y'all on Shark Tank. I'll give you 5 grand for 30% stake.
My my only question was there is a line talking about like essentially doing the crowdfunding, which sounds like it's going to be like a Kickstarter type setup,
Yeah.
um, which includes donor gifts, like incentives to donate at a higher threshold. Meg, is that something that we can cover or do? It's a very small portion of his budget. Like, would we need to call that out that like the funds can't be used for that?
That's a good question because that is, I think that could be connected to fundraising.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the guidelines
Okay.
more to see because yeah, I know there are limitations. Just not 100% sure what all of them are.
And
Okay.
if that is the case, we can reach out to him, ask him what the amount is particular to that, and then that could be one of the partial funding, like partial funding because we don't fund that specific thing, not partial funding because we are just taking less from the amount that we give them.
Well, he
gotcha.
says they're gifts with the intention of, but not asking for. I don't know.
What do you mean, Claire? Can you?
Like one of the ones where like one of the lines for like 1500 is limited edition gifts to encourage higher donations is another. Like the way he worded it is interesting.
Well, and I think that's what Aaron
Yeah.
was trying to
No, yeah.
address.
I skipped over that line. I don't know how I didn't remember that.
Oh, yeah, I missed that line too. So good catch, Aaron. This is why we have multiple eyes on these things. Uh,
Shocking.
moving
Finance
on,
person catches it.
moving on to the next one, we've got the Amhutsari dance school.
Is
I'm gonna
this
just
not
talk.
happening in Worcester?
It so that's the thing. Like it says that it will be either the Worcester High School or Grafton High School based on final numbers.
But both of those are in Worcester,
The Grafton High School is
right?
not in Worcester.
Oh, it's
Uh,
not?
No,
it's
it's in
in Grafton.
Grafton.
Oh, that makes sense.
And also, isn't
I
this
thought
a
it was on Grafton
fundraising
Street.
event?
I put that question on mine as
Oh,
well. That was the reason why I think it's disqualified because it is a
oh
fundraising
yeah.
event. I
I
went ahead
didn't
and
think about
scored it
that.
either way, just but I wanted to get other people's thoughts on that too because we don't do fundraising events.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this,
I also think that since they're also asking for funding from Grafton, Grafton's local council, that if they received both awards,
yeah.
Grafton would have an expectation that it is in Grafton. We would have an expectation that it's here. There's a conflict of interest there.
All right, cool. Well, I think at its core though, it is a fundraising event that is something we don't fund. I mean, I'll go ahead and just put a motion that we could disqualify this one this year because of because it is a fundraising event. However, if we want to, or if we do talk with them later, we can also bring up the fact that they had two opposing venues at two very different locations. Um, in addition to the fact that we don't
Yeah.
do fundraising events, but if they want to apply in the future to avoid that as well. But I'll put a motion that we go ahead and disqualify this one then.
Second.
Second.
Okay, cool. All four? Any opposed? All right, cool. We're gonna go ahead and DQ that one then for this year. Moving on, we've got
Oh, the kites.
I
The-
love this,
we've got
I
the
love
kites.
this too.
except they
No.
have no letter of commitments and they have a deficit of 10K if we do fund them with no other funding sources listed.
Um, let me open this up.
Get some of them Walmart kites.
You're getting Mary Poppins all up in here.
I know Guardians of Tradition. I know like their focal point and how what it is they're trying to do, but I definitely was like, I need to tell Vanessa, like if this does go through, I do need to tell Vanessa that, like we can have some Mary Poppin kites just for fun. So what, Aaron, can you say again what it is you were talking about? Like I know that they don't have
Yep.
any letters of commitment.
Yeah, that's minor. If we do fund them, $5,000, they're still in a deficit. They still need an additional 10K to pull this off.
Yeah.
They don't have any other funding sources listed. So how are they going to do it if we fund them?
They'd probably continue to fundraise to make the
Yeah.
event happen. As they said on this, if they don't get it, if they get partial funding, they'll scale back part of the festival, making it smaller with no entertainment, less activities, and then would also have to negotiate the amount paid to artists and vendors. So they do have a section addressing if they don't have everything. And this is one of those moments again where we kind of look at the institution as a whole, or the organization as a whole.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them, so
Guardians of Tradition is really, really ingrained in the community. They have a
okay.
lot of connections, and I know that, like, I know Vanessa's really good at fundraising.
Okay.
So,
That makes me feel better about it.
yeah.
All right. Art in the Park in Elm Park.
So, just so everyone is aware, Art in the Park did start as a Worcester Arts Council led project. They did take a year off to reassess who they were, what they were doing, what their vision is. And so we are kind of getting the first looks at this revamped group. Um, just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I had no real notes other than that for us.
Their budget is an issue, but their projected income doesn't actually make any sense to what it is that they're saying, but it matches the breakdown that they have at the bottom. So I think that rather than it being an issue with them, I think that it is an issue on the application. Like there are multiple applications that we've seen at this point that get those like the additional income and the excuse me, the in-kind support wrong. Like if there's a way to like encourage it to be the same format as like the project budget, I think that would help people
Okay.
understand what that is better.
Okay, I appreciate that. Again, we are at 8:05 right now.
Oh, yeah.
So let's make sure that any future conversations that need to happen, let's go ahead and just park all that stuff moving forward and then bring that up to me through email, text, or just talking to me. And we'll get that figured out for future grants. Moving on to Seed to Fashion from Mihoko Wakabayashi.
I like this.
Yeah.
I liked this.
I liked it cool too. It's at the Goddard Elementary School and at the studio.
Is Goddard? I don't know what kind of school.
I looked at it's public and
I know it's. Is it underserved? Is it in
I
like
don't
It's on
know.
Freeland Street, right? Yeah,
where?
So
it's right in the middle of Main South.
yeah.
Oh, then yes, gotcha.
All right, moving on. If nobody has any other thoughts, though, again, let's any pop-ups. The next one is Sound Bites events. that thing's not happening in Worcester, so that one's disqualified. The one after that is the Worcester African Festival. There was nothing of note that popped up for me on that one. Anybody else?
No letters of commitment or specific other funding partners, but
Okay. Um, the next one, Deborah Du Bois, Beyond the Common Worcester Tour. This one to me, like I would love to see a solid tour of Worcester happening in the city. No information as to the background of the applicant.
Yeah,
Um,
expertise. I like the concept, just not sure the audience.
yeah, I'm also not a big fan of the fact they put to be determined on the ticket costs. Um, thought that was a little weird.
yeah, also like I want walking tour topics. I want to know like where you're stopping.
Exactly. But does anybody have any other thoughts or anything popped out for that one? All right. Moving on to the next one,
Oh, the
Fiona,
doula.
the Black Doula Diaries podcast. Um, I know we already talked about how it seems like people are excited, but were there any red flags that popped up or anything that we need to look at for that one particularly? I think it's just
The,
a really cool
the only
project.
thing I said is, what is the space that they're going to be using? How do we know it's 2K?
That's fair. I mean, and I think that
I know it's kind of a vague thing, but like,
well, we'd be able to figure that out if they actually had like letters of
yes.
commitment and stuff through the venues that they're going to be working with.
Mm.
But no, that's a good point. Uh, any other thoughts though before we move on?
How do we get podcasts and radios to like how do we ensure that they are saying that they are sponsored by WAC?
So that's a simple thing at the beginning of the podcast. You
Okay.
can you'll have, this was or either at the beginning or at the end of the podcast, you generally have the person who's leading the podcast say this was funded through a thankfully through a grant given to us by insert
The yeah, yeah, yeah.
Worcester Arts Council.
Could we
Um
get the Allstate guy?
yes,
Chris, use your podcast voice
I
and
will not. Later
Matthew
though.
Wasser,
We can come up with something for that for people in the future, just like we give them our logo.
yeah,
Um,
the
yes,
virtual lighting gallery show at Harold Stevens Gallery. I liked this. I like that he was going to donate the stuff to the gallery afterwards.
yep,
oh, I missed that. That was a question that I had.
yep. And so that is an investment in the larger community. I have no red flags. I'm just super pumped about this kind of art show because I've been
Mm,
wanting to see more light
it's
work in
cool.
the city.
It's cool. All
Any other
right.
thoughts though? Okay. Seven Hills Symphony, the community concert, Seven Hills Symphony.
Working in at UMass and working with residents and students, I know Steve Hurd. I know him very well. He's a great guy. I think this is awesome. Like I know medical students and residents aren't really an underserved community, but having an outlet for those people using music is really important. I think this is awesome.
I think for me, I think it's like the community impact. I think we need to tie in the fact that these people are serving our community and they are like, these are our doctors, our nurses, and like them finding, outlets, like outside of their day jobs. I agree with you. I think there's community benefit for sure.
There
Mental
weren't
health
any
of these people is good.
there weren't any performance locations listed. So like how do we guarantee that it's going to be in Worcester and that they don't go, oh, it's easier to find something in Shrewsbury?
I
Ah,
mean, the guarantee would definitely be at the end of their event, if or while we're waiting for the event, if they post up saying that they're going to have an event in Shrewsbury, then we say, hey, we need our money back. Like
yeah,
that's realistically that is the final
Okay.
gateway for every
Okay.
project that we approve, is they have to give us a final report. And if they
yeah.
don't, that breaks
Give me that money
the
back.
agreement.
Okay.
But I mean, a good question though. The next one is Becca Paisley or Pasley.
She had a PO box.
That is precisely what I wrote. I love everything about this project, but because the applicant has a PO box, that does break that rule. So that one
They have
has
to
to
be
be
DQ'd.
disqualified, based
Damn,
solely off applicant.
that
Um,
sucks. This was a
really
cool
sucks.
project.
Um, the next one is Seven Hills Foundation, Aspire, connecting and creating through the arts. Um, I've got no notes on this one, but I know they do good work.
Yep.
Any other thoughts? Okay. The next one is the hot dog safari. Um, if you don't know what the hot dog safari is,
You live under a rock.
I heavily encourage you to go to it. It's so good.
Oh,
It is such a fun event.
the
It is,
community impact. Like this last year, that restaurant that won. Oh my God.
yeah.
Oh,
All
the
the
Indian
posts about
place?
it. Oh, my heart.
This place is
Hey,
the creepy place behind the old factory building, right? That's where it happens. I don't go behind. I don't
Ralph's?
go
are you
down.
Oh,
talking the creepy place, Ralph's?
Ralph's?
Like
Ralph.
going down alleys near cemeteries. What are y'all
Oh,
doing?
Let me tell you, they
Oh,
have a haunted house. Amazing.
yes. Their
I
haunted
ran an
house is so much fun.
I ran
Ralph's
an
is a great place.
improv group out of there for 7 years. Ralph's is like my home away from home. I
It's an
and
institution.
and Thomas Mahoney does really good work for the city. Like he's a good dude.
But I'm going to be
Yeah,
honest with you, like with how you're responding, Victor, maybe it's a white institution of
it's
Worcester.
Fair.
oh,
Like I'm thinking about the crowds whenever I go there.
Fair.
It's a
it's a
very
Fair.
bunch of
valid point.
hipsters.
It's a
It's a
bunch of
bunch of
hipsters and
hipsters.
crust punks and
Yeah,
metalheads.
yeah.
It's fair. That's fair. That is
Got it.
fair.
Totally fair.
It's
Um
all good.
I
So this is
I've never
the
had the
one
opportunity.
thing.
Oh,
No,
go
I was
ahead.
just gonna
Sorry.
ask. I again to your point, the public benefit is amazing. Does it count as a fundraiser if they say they're raising funds for other people, or would it like now? I'm wondering that on the
Ooh.
conversations we've been having because I love it too, but we just disqualified every other fundraiser.
So my understanding of it, it's fundraiser for them. So we're not supplementing the ability for them to get more money on the back end. Fundraisers or connections to the community. Um, that's how I've understood it. Meg, do you have specific language that we have?
Meg's like, that's a good question, Victor.
Yeah, it is a good question. I'll have to do some research
Now,
and
are
Okay.
you
Look at it because it could just be that they're not, finance people and they
are
use
you
them
concerned
for.
that they're raising funds for themselves? Because don't they donate a good portion of everything to the Worcester County Food Bank?
No, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's a fundraiser, no matter who it's for, right? Like that was
He's
my
wanting
question.
clarity. He's wanting
Yeah.
clarity on
Gotcha,
like
gotcha, gotcha.
if there's a fundraising element to it, does that just automatically disqualify it? Or if it's a
Oh,
fundraiser for them versus a fundraiser for the community? Again, like Meg, you and I can look at
mhm.
that on the back end and get and look at the language that we have. Um, I really hope that the language doesn't just disqualify all fundraisers in general because I feel like that's something that needs to get fixed immediately for the next season.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to I don't want to discourage people wanting to help. And I know that's not what you're saying, but like I just don't want our language to discourage people helping the larger community. So
Also, if they can get Maddie Matthewson, holy shit.
that's true.
Ralph's, if you're
Um,
watching, I'm gonna go get a
Who?
walking taco this weekend. I'll be there.
Yes, eat it, Ralph's, live forever. They're burgers, though.
Who's
um,
Maddie Matthewson?
okay, let's move on to the
I'll tell
next
you.
one. That's Dirt from John Morello. TBD on the location and where it's at, but outside of that, this seemed like a really cool project to me.
Yep.
Any other thoughts though?
Hold
Or
on one
red
second.
flags? Not just
Did I
like,
have anything
let's
on this?
move on through this.
What schools, any commitments, artist fees for who? I thought this was a one-man show that he was investing in. I was a little confused by this one.
Totally fair. I think that I think
Because
this was a traveling show.
Right, but like what schools is he going to? He has no commitments from any schools whatsoever. Like the show sounds great and everything and sounds like it would have good impact on the community and like he's from here, grew up tough, blah blah blah. But like where are you doing this?
Valid point. Again, we'll throw that in. Like if you have questions like that, if that's going to impact your score and you really want to know, we can put that in the email chain. Again, I do want to echo that we may not get answers from everybody. So just keep all these things, let it impact your score, and we let things fall where they are. The next one is the Worcester Arts Magnet School, the Bollywood residency.
Love that.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't
I just said another school project that the city should fund.
exactly.
Especially
Um,
because the school was like, we have a rising Indian population. Let's do something to involve them.
yeah.
Love that.
The next one, Soundbite events, again, not happening in Worcester, it's happening in Fitchburg. The one after that was Tahomey LLC's Wellness Through Dance 36 class series. I thought that was a really good bang for a buck. 36 classes, reaching out to everybody in the
And their
community.
drop-ins and pay
Yep.
what you want.
Pay what you want, drop in. That makes it accessible to a lot of different people. Anybody else have any thoughts though? All right. Moving on to Joanne Warren Studio, Creative Movers Program. Honestly, I kind of mimicked or echoed the one we just looked at, but did anybody notice anything for that one?
I just said, I'd like to know a little bit more history of this program because it's been running for a while, it sounds like. Why are
Mhm.
they asking for a grant now, and how diverse are the
Mhm.
attendees?
Fair. I will say though, real quick to that last point, the why are they asking for a grant now? Um, I'm constantly surprised at how many people I meet who have been in this city for a long time, who've been doing amazing, who've doing work in the city, look at me in the face and say, "Oh, I didn't even know that the Worcester Arts Council gave grants." Um,
Fair.
I don't think
Joanne
that
Warren's also an established.
very fair.
I danced there when I was 2. So like this is a very old established place. So like it just I was like, why now?
So valid. I did want to
Hmm.
just make sure we also knew like that was stated as well because
Yeah.
I'm constantly surprised at how many people don't know. The next one would be Love Your Labels, the Threads Youth Fashion and Identity Program. What are people's thoughts?
Good.
But this is established.
Yeah, it's established.
Is this
Again,
the first
guys,
time they're asking money from us?
again, guys, I don't think it's the first time they've asked for money from us. They have in the past, but the established part, really look at the impact and innovation column. That's where you can really let your feelings be known. If you feel like this is an established institutional program and you want to see newer things, instead of 5 points, give them 3. That means they're starting with 2 less points impacting their overall total, and let that be compared to all the other groups that are applying. Um, the next one we're skipping over has been disqualified because it's not in Worcester. The one after that, Jerry Kazarian, the Analog Project. This sounded really dope to me.
Love this project. Love this
Um,
project. As
any
an
other thoughts though? No?
as an avid vinyl collector of all sorts of music,
Same. I would love to see that.
yes.
Um, Cool. The WAVVZ Sewing and Fashion Showcase for emerging uh creatives.
I
Any
think at the end of this, we're going to really need to look at how many fashion things that we want to potentially fund. There was a lot of that this year, I feel like.
and that is fair. I think that's connected to
Hmm.
that last column.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna score how we're gonna score, but maybe that's what's happening in Worcester right now. And maybe that is the art scene that we're having at this very moment in time. I'm just throwing it out there. Like
No,
maybe
I think that's a really good point.
we'll see how things score, but I'm just throwing it.
Cash, you know what's funny? Like when I see these things, I had a friend of mine who works at the Y share like the most important thing I've heard when it comes to like developing people in community. It's like the thing we're doing isn't the thing we're doing. It's the thing that leads to what we're doing.
Okay.
Right. So it's just the median to build community, to build confidence, to build skills. Like it's that middle thing that is someone's talent and they know how to connect people with.
I like that.
Dig it.
Yeah. Um, cool. The next one, Thibault Lynn Orelli. This is Worcester. Um,
If
I
this
thought
is
this
done
was,
right, it's my favorite project I've read.
oh, this is your favorite project?
Hands down, if you go out and you tell the stories of every zip code at the same time, then you did it right.
I think that's fair.
I just wanted to know, how are they collecting photos? Like, how are they soliciting photos? I didn't see exactly how they were gonna do that, and like, who are they collecting from? Like, where are they
Um,
sourcing this stuff from?
yeah, so my understanding from reading it is they're sourcing from the community at large. Everybody's going to have the freedom to
Wow.
submit. So what'll probably great question. It'll like you can do emails, you can do other ways, and I think that's because it's digital, it's photography. That's the way that they're going to do it because it looks like in the budget, she has it sectioned off that she's going to be doing the prints herself. And so that tells me that she's going to be getting it from people through digital means. Um, so
I just want to know, like, how she, like, like, I could go ask my people that I know for photos and stuff. How is she getting out into the community and approaching different communities to gather these photos?
um I believe that was talked
Was
about.
it? Did I miss that? My bad.
No,
If
you're
it's
good.
answered, I'll review it. We don't have to sit on that one.
Well, I mean, like, I know you're asking a good question.
Yeah, like, who are they reaching out to collect these photos?
Judging by the ones that they
Are they
have.
going to churches, community centers? They like just shooting out an email list? Are they posting it on Facebook? Like,
So they will promote This is Worcester through printed materials, through local organizations, social media, direct outreach to schools, neighborhood groups, and community organizations, and leverage partnerships with larger organizations like Arts Worcester to reach residents citywide. And so, taking from that, when you look at the firm commitments and the tentative commitments, those are probably the groups those are going to be the groups that they're going to be leaning on to get this information out.
okay.
Um, but good points. And the last one um, of the night would be Valerie Roy's. Um,
I saw no community impact with this, or
Same.
very little.
Yeah, this one was odd for me. It felt a little
Like,
out of left field.
great experience, and like, they're obviously very talented and all that stuff, but like,
Yeah, it
it's a
didn't excite me.
concert.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
but did anybody have any other things, red flags? Nope. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say barring all that, we'll go ahead and cut the meeting at 8:25. If there are no other topics. All right, can I get a motion to end the meeting then?
Motion.
Motion.
What was
Second.
that? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, cool. Thanks guys so much.